Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're
Yes,
going to hear
yes.
hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And today we do have, as you can see by the title, a Premier League season predictions episode. But before we get into that, we have just finished watching the Community Shield. Man City have just won it. Hopefully the curse is true, and they can't go and win the title
And they can't go in
now.
the league.
But Michael, first thoughts on the game?
It was a lot better in the second half.
Mhm.
The first half was kind of just like passive. I thought it seemed like a couple of guys were just going through the motions, but it was a good game. It was a good curtain raiser to the season. I think Man United, they will be a better team than last year because
They can't go down.
they
They
can't
get
go
worse
down.
than 8th.
That's true. They can't get worse than last year. But just in terms of like the performance level, there was a lot of similar traits from last year. Going a goal up, 10 minutes to go, ending up losing the game,
Yeah.
type of thing. But at the same time, some semblance, maybe not patterns of play. That's a strong term, but some semblance of an identity. I feel like he's going to stick with the counter-attacking thing. I feel like he's going to stick with the like, I'm going to try and soak up and then hit on the break.
Well, so you reckon next week against Fulham at home at Old Trafford? That's his. I can't see him doing that, man.
You can't see him doing that.
I think he's going to go and try and press and play an
No,
elaborate play
I
style.
can easily see it. I can see him trying to do that, but I can see Fulham knocking it about a bit and
Yeah.
United reverting back to, all right, let's just be tidy. Let's just like
No,
once Fulham flashing across goal once.
I don't think that will be on Ten Hag's instruction. I think that will just kind of be a team
The way it
mentality
goes.
thing.
I think I agree with that. I do think that it's going to end up, be it his own decision or the team's decision, to try and play that, because they will be telling themselves right now, we were unlucky to lose that today.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were
And they had some
we
good
had
Rashford
better
missed some good
chances
yeah.
and all of this kind of stuff. So they'll see that as a blueprint to move forward with, especially during the rookie periods.
Yeah.
But from a City perspective, man, I was a bit harsh on City at the beginning of the game. I was almost saying, like, are these guys really anything to be afraid about? Are these guys really anything to be scared about? I'm looking at Riley in midfield. I'm looking at Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Oscar. And I rate these guys. I rate Rico Lewis. I rate Oscar Bob.
Yeah.
I think Oscar Bob
Yeah.
is a good player.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between like being a good player and being like, I'm going to win the Premier
Silver.
League. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
win the Premier League type player. And I thought maybe there's a lot of transitions, but then I realized City's squad is still kind of stacked.
Yeah.
Like Grealish is still there.
Other than
Foden's coming back.
Alvarez, they ain't
Yeah.
really lost anyone.
You know, KDB is still around. Rodri's going to come back into things.
Savinho made his debut.
Yeah, Savinho made his debut. He looked good.
Yeah.
I think the Doku, Savinho, Haaland thing can get a bit long for a lot of teams. Because it seems like Doku and Savinho are going to be able to skip around a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So that is going to get a little bit long. But it was good. It was a good game. Definitely the second half was interesting. The penalty shootouts, I mean.
Yeah. I always like the Community Shield, but I never really feel like it can tell you too much.
Yeah.
About it, or about how the season's gonna go. But yeah, on the penalty shootout, obviously Jadon Sancho and Johnny Evans missed for Man United. Not what Jadon Sancho would have wanted, having just buried his beef with Ten Hag, come back into the team and whatever. And I mean, the Johnny Evans penalty was, I don't know what
was diabolical.
I don't know.
That is shocking.
That looked like someone who just learned how to kick a ball.
Yeah, literally. And he tried to do the safe option of going down the middle, but somehow he's made it look risky.
He's made it
look like the risky option.
And then Akanji stepped up, and obviously City win. So fair play to City. And like I said, hopefully that curse is true.
I think Sancho though, like, I don't know. Like this is a terrible start to the season.
I've said it for about 2 years now. Probably Sancho's done in this league.
Yeah,
he's finished in this.
I don't even think preseason he was pulling up many trees. I know he had one or two decent performances, but like,
he can't beat a man.
Ahmad had the better half.
From what I've seen of Ahmad in a couple of games towards the end of last season and even today, I've seen more that he can make it in this league as a winger than Sancho.
Yeah,
the Tencho thing is probably the only way you get anything out of it.
I really hope for Sancho's sake that he goes to PSG, where it's just like kind of pressure off. I win the league. I can go through my flicks
for
and
his
tricks.
sake, yeah, but for our sake, I want him to stay.
Yeah, I just don't think that he's going to get. I think the two guys
I want to see Man United fans die on their sword for another season.
I think the two guys that missed the penalties aren't going to get many minutes this season.
Yeah. Obviously, Man United done some transfer business today.
Exactly.
Looks like 2 players through the door.
Exactly.
We spoke about De Ligt in our last episode.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, go watch that. You saying he not really moved the needle for you, which I kind of agree with. But I said this to you off air, to go from Evans and Maguire or Evans and Lindelof to De Ligt and Euro.
Yeah, it's better.
The squad building is they're good signings.
It's better. De Ligt is a good signing. He doesn't move the needle for me because I know he can get got at, but he's definitely better than what they have. Apart from Martinez, he's there with their best centre backs, and De Ligt and Martinez. I don't think it moves the needle in terms of top 3, top 4. But in terms of beating the Brentfords and beating who are Nottingham Forest, and that, I think that they can probably stand up to Nottingham Forest and play good football.
Yeah.
You know,
which they couldn't do last year.
Yeah. The last thing on Sancho as well is it's kind of not a curtain closer, but it's a real problem when even Garnacho is looking good on the right hand side.
Garnacho's always looked better than Sancho. In the Premier League.
I agree, but I've always thought Garnacho, he's trying to like Garnacho is beating him on the left wing thing, but maybe Sancho can do his job on the right wing.
Yeah.
If Garnacho is looking better on the right wing, and he's being like shoehorned there and still looking better, then there's serious problems.
That's bro. Sancho, whether it's left or right, he's not a winger in this league.
Yeah,
he can't be.
Yeah.
But look, we will talk about Man United more, I'm sure, because we've got predictions, and instead of doing like a top 6, a top goal scorer relegation, which we will do, but I wanted to do that when the transfer window was closed because certain things could happen in the transfer window. Chelsea could sign another 16 players, and 3 of them could be world class. Arsenal could go and sign a striker. City could go and spend the money that they've just got come in. Liverpool could finally sign someone. All those things could happen, and that would change a lot how I predict my Premier League table. So we're going to do that at some point, but we'll do it after the transfer window closes. But for today's episode, it's more just like a general predictions thing. Some will just be maybe a bit of a joke, a bit of a laugh. Some will be serious, but we'll talk through them. And I have asked fans of other clubs for their predictions, so it's not just like an Arsenal-based kind of thing. And so anyone who contributed, thank you. And we'll see how it goes, because I feel like some of these are pretty good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite person to get predictions from is Nick. And Nick provided some good ones.
Because he lives on the edge.
But I'll start with one of mine. And because we were just talking about Man United and specifically Ten Hag, the first one I had written down here is that Arne Slot will finish above Ten Hag.
I can see that.
And the main reason, I'm not like acting like I know much about Arne Slot.
Yeah.
I said in the last episode that his preseason looked decent, looked like he could at least coach a press.
Yeah.
But the main reason is because I do think that the Liverpool squad, even without any transfer additions at the minute, is good.
It is.
I think even guys that can come in, and I think with it was still having Van Dijk there, Trent obviously there, Alisson, Salah. I think guys like Harvey Elliott will get a lot more game time, and I think that'll be good for him. McAllister obviously still there, Szoboszlai. I think in a new system that might. I'm not saying that they'll do as well as they did last year, because obviously last year to even be in a title race was a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But I do think that they will finish above Man United purely because of the quality of the squad.
The reason I agree with this is maybe because of my own prediction. I don't think Ten Hag finishes the season, and I don't think he has a terrible a year as last season. But I just don't think. I think Ten Hag is going to have a better season than last season, but still lose the crucial games to the fans. Like lose to Liverpool, lose to Arsenal. He's going to lose the games that Man United fans really want.
Yeah, I see that.
A performance and a result in, and he'll lose those ones.
Well, they've got Liverpool third game of the season at Old Trafford, so that's going to be a big test. Because I think if Liverpool go there, Arne Slot goes there and wins, then that's a pretty big statement as a Liverpool manager.
Those are the games. It's going to be Man United fans are going to be looking for a measuring stick to see how far they've improved from last season, and I don't think those are the results and performances that Ten Hag will be able to drill into the team, like beating an Arne Slot's Liverpool team, or Marco Silva on the first day of the season type of thing, where
we can't see Ten Hag get out coached
Yeah.
the way we did. The Brighton one was so obvious. Old Trafford, and De Zerbi just schooled him, right? And that happens quite a bit. We can't see that
happen this season. I think it will still happen in a lot of respects, and I can easily see Ruud van Nistelrooy being at some point in this season caretaker manager. I can just
Man United fans are already kind of hanging their hat on
exactly.
that.
I can easily see at some point, and I think it will be because of Ten Hag's relationship with the fans, or not with the fans, but like just the fans losing that patience of like, all right, we tried it now. We gave you the money, we gave you the time.
100%.
It's been 3 years now, and by November, December, they'll be out of the title race type of thing, but still sort of in the top 4 race. And once they start getting blows in the top 4 race, that's when there'll be a nail in the coffin.
You reckon they make top 4?
I reckon they 100% have the squad to make top 4. And I think like De Ligt helps that. I think Mazraoui helps that. Obviously, Kobe Mainoo is going to be a better player. Garnacho and guys look like they've improved from last year. So I think they have the squad to make top 4. But top 4 is always about coaching. That 4th spot, all of those guys are as good or as bad as each other. It's always about which coach.
Everyone's throwing it away.
Exactly. Which coach is going to get enough out of the team, squeeze enough juice out of the lemon or whatever to get them over the line. And honestly is whether or not Ten Hag is like the 4th best manager in the country.
Which, in my opinion, he's not.
Yeah.
But, I mean, tied in with that, Stedman had Ten Hag sacked by December.
Yeah, let's see. Same vibe.
Seems pretty similar to what you're saying. But then on the opposite side, I did ask a Man United fan. I asked Samin, and Samin had Man United to finish in the top 3.
Yeah, but that's
obviously as a United fan.
I don't think Man United fans think they could finish 19th. They could finish, 15th the season before. And I think, it's just going to bounce back next season.
But look, he had United top 3, and he said that he thinks Ten Hag will establish a style of play. Which I guess you kind of alluded to when talking about the Community Shield. Like maybe you said style of play was maybe a bit far, but there were patterns and whatever.
Yeah,
I think
it won't look as haphazard.
I don't know. I feel like I can't outright say. I mean, I can, but I shouldn't outright say that they won't finish top 3 because Ten Hag finished there in his first season.
Yeah,
right. He finished 3rd.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't, but I just don't think. I do think Man United can finish top 4, like you said.
Yeah.
But that again is more so because the other teams, I just don't like. Liverpool with a new manager, Villa with Champions League football, Tottenham now playing in Europa League with the Thursday-Sunday schedule. I think there's a lot of Chelsea. I'm sure we'll have some predictions about Chelsea, but it's more how bad I think those other teams are that I think United could get top 4.
I look, I do agree with that. I just think that for United to finish top 3, there needs to be a clear bags man. When they did it for Ten Hag first season, Rashford was the guy. And unless Rashford is the guy this season, or
Samin said Xerxes, 5 goals, 8 assists. I was about to,
but by Jan,
that's what he said. Yeah, 5 goals, 8 assists.
8 assists.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But I think that's going to be United's issue and obviously no one knows yet, but who's going to be the guy goal scoring? Like they have enough guys who Mount can create something. Bruno can create something. Even Kobe can create something. Garnacho can create something. Ahmad looks like he can play up. He played a square ball today. Somebody has to get on the end of that type of thing. But who's going to be the guy?
The only guy that it can be in their squad currently is Rashford.
Yeah.
Right. No other guy in their squad can be a gunman like that. And I think the Xerxes signing, obviously he's calling himself a 9.5 and whatever.
That's great.
Maybe trying to shirk the responsibility of goals
already
and whatnot. But I do think from what I haven't seen much of Xerxes, but from what I've heard about him, he's kind of more of a link-up play striker that could help Rashford.
It could. I mean, United fans would hope so. But then what is Højlund?
Well, Højlund's definitely not a link-up play striker.
But I wouldn't say he's a finisher.
He's exactly. So what is Højlund?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
because but that's what I think, because you're never going to see Højlund get the ball on the half turn, maybe nutmeg a man and slip Rashford through. but you could see that from Xerxes.
Yeah, I would be shocked if that's Xerxes' game though. Like as much as they're saying that it is
Yeah, in the Premier
in the Premier League,
yeah,
it's you've got some tough centre backs on your back now. Like you're not gonna get the time and space to turn.
true.
Like if he has it like that, he has it like that.
But I do think just the things like his first touch and that kind of stuff is more perfected than Højlund.
Yeah. Okay. And it's funny because
But the fact that he didn't, I did think he would start today. And the fact that he didn't start today and
we'll get any minutes.
A Mason Mount false 9.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's going to do that against Fulham?
No, he can't.
Does that mean he thinks Xerxes not ready? All of those questions.
You can't spend 50 mil back-to-back seasons on strikers and then start Mason Mount false 9.
I mean, he just did that.
No, but you
Literally just did
you can't for Fulham. You can't. One of them has to be fit and ready.
Yeah. Well, Højlund's out.
Or I'd
Guaranteed.
even rather, I don't even know if I would rather Rashford down the middle, but I would rather that option because Mount didn't do much today. Like he wasn't really involved in the game.
Kind of non-existent.
Yeah, and then when he came off, Bruno looked more lively.
Yeah.
Bruno looked like he finally had some space.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting one. Both Man United and Liverpool is going to be interesting to see how they do this season. But we'll move it on. To one that Nick gave me, Kai Havertz, 25 GA in the league.
Nice, unfortunately, and I love Kai.
See, now
I love Kai, but that's not happening.
When Nick first said this to me, he was a bit worried that maybe that's a bit much. But do you know what he got last year in the league?
What 22?
19. 13 and 6.
But you know what? The
25 ain't. It's not a massive jump.
But I don't think, and I think I'm gonna contradict myself. Kai will get maybe similar minutes last year, but he's not gonna get the number 9 minutes that he got last year.
He could,
but the only way he can is if
Jesus
flunks fails out, which could happen. But I still think. I think Jesus will be better than he was last year. That's what I'm banking on.
And I do also think that we can't really persist with we need to go on a 7-game winning streak if Jesus is playing up top because we know that how fluid the team can be,
exactly
how well we can play with Kai up there. So the moment that it starts looking a bit sticky, I think it needs to just be Kai up top.
My thing about Kai getting 25 GAs is I would need him to start almost number 9 for 30 games. Yeah. You know,
it's true,
and I just don't think that will happen. And I think he can start a lot of games and get a lot of minutes.
But he's back 2-2 in preseason.
He has. Kai is Kai. He does the things, and I do love the fact his knack for a GA.
Yeah.
But I do just think that as much as I'm not even the biggest Kai in the 8 fan, I understand Arteta we're right back to where we are last season.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, where it's like if you're expecting certain statistical figures from Kai, it's tough.
Yeah.
Because where is he? Who knows where he's going to play?
Yeah.
Left 8, 10, false 9, out on the right. I think he's going to be doing those jobs where Arteta's just going to shoehorn him on the pitch and tell him to do a pressing job and a filling in job rather than I need you to be a 9 and score and link the play.
I think it's difficult to pin down his goals and assists. I remember you said last year early on that you can't judge him off his goals and assists because you don't know where he's going to play or what role he's going to play and whatever. And even though his goals and assists were very good last year, I still wouldn't judge him.
Exactly. It's tough. It's so tough with him, man. Him more than anybody does his role change week in, week out.
Yeah.
Game by game, he's given a different set of rules and things to do. And as you were saying, last season, we'd see him standing next to Declan Rice on opposition goal kicks for the aerial presence.
Yeah.
And I think we can see a lot of that this season with Jesus up top and interchanging. But I wouldn't put it past Kai to again quietly or not so quietly have another great statistical year.
I mean, I'd go as far as to say that if Havertz gets 25 GA in the league, I think we win the title.
Yeah, because imagine where everybody else.
That's going to be a 15 and 10 split.
yeah. Which if we're getting that from Kai Havertz in back-to-back seasons,
I think that could be the title.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's as ridiculous as some of Nick's takes.
No. He's got
that one's
quite tame.
Happen. Yeah. Go on, you got any?
I think my take is I just see that 5th spot for Newcastle. I don't know who finishes top 4, but I see that 5th spot for.
I think Newcastle can have a good season.
Yeah, exactly. Isak will do the things.
Yep.
Gordon will do the things. They've got
Barnes.
Tonali coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, they've still got Bruno G there
Joelinton.
as of right now.
Yep.
You
Next
know,
Bully.
exactly. Lewis Hall, who
Yep.
I think could be like a young and growing wing back. Livramento.
Yeah.
So they've got some guys to replace the older guys like
Yep.
Dan Burn and Trippier
Trippier.
can share minutes now with Lewis Hall and Livramento.
Yep.
And obviously you've got Shaw, you've got Botman.
Yeah. Botman's still out for a while.
Is he?
I think a centre back they do need to sign. But anyhow they get Gay, I think they'll get fourth.
You think they'll get fourth?
Yeah, if they get Gay.
Yeah, because Barnes, we've said it.
Because
Gordon,
Gay, Botman,
Isak,
Gay, Shaw.
Wilson is still there, and I know
Yep.
as much as I was saying Wilson should probably get a move, like Wilson can still back 10 Premier League goals for Newcastle.
Yep. And from the bench, if they're starting midfield threes, Bruno G, Joelinton, and Tonali, say Willock, Longstaff, they've got bodies there to come in,
run,
do a job.
And
no European football, I think, is big for them.
Yeah. 1 week.
Yeah.
This is it.
1 game a week. Eddie Howe, high pressing, high
intensity. Every week you have a full week damn near to prepare for your next game.
Yeah, I think Newcastle's gonna have a good season. I agree with that. One of my personal ones here was that by January, people will be saying that Tottenham should have kept Harry Winks.
You don't trust this Archie Gray guy? They're saying he's meant to be legit.
I don't trust Archie Gray to have an impact in his first season of Premier League.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I haven't really seen anything anywhere near enough of him to make a fair judgment. Obviously, he's a Tottenham player, so I could just say, no, he's whack.
He's shit, yeah.
Right, but in all honesty, I haven't seen enough. But regardless, he's 18.
Yeah.
He's not going to come to...
He can't be the linchpin.
I know. And they'll go to St. James's or something, and Bissouma's out, Archie Gray is a 6. And it will be the longest day, the longest wake-up call. I know Andrew's going to do that.
Individually, I think Archie Gray looks like he has some stuff about him, but, Tottenham. But I do think that Ange can't play an Archie Gray, Pape Sarr, Madders midfield.
Yeah.
I don't think that can really run for more than just that one-off game where everybody's injured.
Yeah.
3 or 4 games of Archie Gray, Pape Sarr, and Maddison. There's going to be a lot of teams that will have fun. And the reason I say
this, obviously Harry Winks used to be at Leicester, at Tottenham. Sorry, he was one of Leicester's best players last year. They played Tottenham in the first game. We used to call him Mini Esther, right? Harry Winks, rise, yeah, please for that game. But I genuinely believe that there will come a point in it where Leicester will play. Who might they? They might play Nottingham Forest, and Harry Winks will be doing "To Me To You" 1-2 touch, and pundits after the game will be like Jamie Redknapp or someone. The way he's playing right now, Tottenham should have kept him.
You can see that line.
And coupled with that, I think, like you say, the Tottenham midfield, if it's Archie Gray, Pape Sarr, Madders, Bissouma, Bentancur, whoever it is, I think there's going to be some sort of way where they try and give Harry Winks their praise, and they do it by saying that.
No, I agree with that. I think one of my predictions is that Man City are going to play longer football. Not long ball in the sense of they're Stoke and they're managed by Tony Pulis or anything like that. But I think with Savinho, with Doku, with Haaland, and obviously Foden and these guys, but I think there could be a bit more of an emphasis of the long ball, Haaland. Because if City can do the beat the press long ball, Haaland knockdown, to Foden with Savinho and Doku already as the runners.
Yeah.
And I think as well, the reason I'm saying this is because I think this generally could be Pep's last season in the Premier League.
To be fair, since they've had Haaland, they've been doing that more than
usual
they were before.
I think this could be the most we've ever sort of seen it. And I don't think it will start immediately.
Yeah.
I think City will win one tight, tough game just because Ederson knocked it long, Haaland nodded it down, either Foden or Doku picked it up in midfield and just drove with it for 50 yards and scored.
Yeah.
And I can see that, rinse and repeat type thing. And I can see Pep being happy with it just because he's like, I'm winning this league every way now.
Yeah.
I've done the tiki-taka. I've done the front foot pressing stuff. I've
I don't know if Pep would want to win it that way.
No. I'm not saying want to in terms of like he's going to be gunning for it and pushing for it, but I think he'll be happy to be like, look,
he'll use the option for sure.
I've done this.
Yeah,
I think this will be the most balls in the box City we've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Doku and Savinho, they're those kind of wingers.
And Haaland with no backup striker.
Even Grealish coming back in and whatever.
Haaland with no backup striker. He's just going to be asking for it. He's going to be stood there in between your central defenders.
But at the same time, if Haaland gets injured, he'll go to his like Foden false 9 or Bernardo.
Oh, it's OD on possession.
Yeah.
It's OD on possession.
On the City one, I had that I think it's going to be, and I'm careful on my wording here, but for Matheus Nunes, almost like a breakthrough season.
Yeah, second season Nunes. Or second season Pep signing.
I think Pep's going to have sick plans for Nunes, like ill plans for Nunes. I think he's going to come in. Even a couple glimpses today. I've always known. I think we've both always kind of rated or known the quality that Matheus Nunes has. Obviously, didn't really get any sort of chance to show it last season, and even when he did play, he wasn't great. But I think this season, it won't necessarily be like a goals and assists kind of thing, or even like he might only start 15 to 20 games in the league. But I think in those games, you will start to see the Matheus Nunes that Pep bought.
I think Pep's guy this season is going to be Kovacic.
Yeah.
I think he's like, yes, he appreciated him last year, but last year he was so and still had a couple of big performances when they needed him to. But I
feel like Kovacic's rep is like known.
Yeah, it is known. It's true. It's not like who doesn't know how good a player he is. Yeah. But I think this season it's going to be like Pep's going to get disgusting in his bag with Kovacic. We're going to be seeing him with in all sorts of pivots, playing left back, playing right back, filling in for this guy there,
picking
filling
the ball up.
In all sorts. In all sorts. We saw it today a little bit. His ability to turn phase one build up into a counter attack. Or into like I'm just gonna pick up.
But that's what Matheus Nunes is almost the Kova light.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And I think that's the kind of player you can mold. And
it's true. But I think he's going to be a disgusting. Like I think Kovacic is and should nail down that next to Rodri pivot thing. But I think I do agree that Nunes this season, Pep man, the second season, he always gets the best out of these guys. He always finds a way to get him into the team and to get him cooking. There will be a streak where Matheus Nunes is like,
like I said, I don't think he'll start. Like when it comes to crunch time, I don't think we'll see Nunes.
Yeah,
from March onwards, I don't think we'll see Nunes. But there'll be a period from like November to January where Nunes is like 5 and 4.
Yeah, completely agree. I think another one of my predictions is Brentford, man. I think Brentford not make a return as if like they push up to the top half of the table or something, but I think people are like kind of worried that Brentford have maybe fallen off a little bit. And they have, but I think last season was so down bad because of injuries.
Obviously signed Fabio Carvalho today.
Yeah, signed Fabio Carvalho today. Thoughts on that? I think he's a good player for them.
Yeah.
I think he could be very tidy. I think he fits the mold. He's going to have to run a lot more than he's ever run before. But I think Brentford honestly have a good team again. Like I think they're going to be tough to break down.
Yeah.
And they're going to they can score. I feel like they have the opportunity, especially if they keep Tony, to score goals.
Been on fire.
Brummo's been on fire. Wisser is still there doing the things. As I said, Jensen's there. And Jensen had a ridiculous finish the other day.
Yeah.
And he was out. He was in and out the team last year.
Back, Rico Henry back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
I think
Hickey's
Tony's
back.
a massive one as well. If they keep Tony, they could finish in the top half.
Yeah. I think they're going to be a lot closer to 10th than relegation.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think a lot of people think the opposite.
No, I'd agree with that. But one team that we haven't actually had a prediction on yet, but we do need one on because I mentioned them in the intro. Chelsea are signing players left, right, and center. Anything with a price tag on it, anything they think, we'll snap this up, send them back on loan. We briefly spoke about it on the last episode, but it's actually nuts how many players are signing and the fees they're paying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But my prediction was that Chelsea will struggle, and I'll elaborate on that. But just to tie it in, Matt had that Chelsea will finish 10th. Just categorically 10th. And I'm not like disagreeing with that because I could see it.
Yeah.
But I think my one about them struggling is very similar to Arteta when he first came to Arsenal, and we've spoken about on this podcast where it's like, I just don't know if we're gonna score today.
Yeah.
Like if it's not a penalty or an own goal or a deflection, I just don't know if we're gonna score today. But we have 60% possession or something, 65% possession or something, and we'll lose the game, right? I think Maresca at Chelsea could experience that a lot in his first season, where Chelsea dominate the ball because they've got technically very good players, and they've got the one difference is obviously that Arteta team just didn't have a quality level that this Chelsea team having guys like Palmer,
Lavia,
Lavia, even Caicedo, Madueke, Neto now. But I think that could be a struggle for them.
Well, I think Chelsea.
I think it could be a tough watch.
I think Chelsea are the hardest team to judge. Last season, I was sure Chelsea were going to have a bad season, and they ended up maybe salvaging something, even though they got pushed down to conference in the end. But this season, I'm even more in the dark about the Chelsea, and maybe it's because I know less about I knew what Poch was going to try and do.
Yeah,
maybe it's because I know less about Enzo Maresca. But I honestly, I have a little bit more optimism though. Like I don't think it will take Enzo, and it depends. Everything depends on what Chelsea do in the next 3 weeks. Like they have to shed 3/4 of the players that they have in their squad.
Higher than they did last year on the Poch.
6th.
Yeah, I can't see it.
I could see Chelsea actually getting to the top 4, as crazy as that sounds. But it would take a great managerial job. It would take him to find 2 centre backs that can partner each other.
I mean, we talk about centre backs off air.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I look at Chelsea and I look at just the squads, like as poor as these guys have been, Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia's been injured, but you know, so if these guys have been, I'm probably taking Enzo and Caicedo over Casemiro and Amrabat or McTominay. McTominay is a good player,
and that team finished 8th last.
Yeah, true. But I'm taking them over a lot of guys.
Maybe taking them over like Bissouma and Bentancur.
I think that is like odds even.
Yeah.
Like
like same kind of thing. Like even as I was saying it, I didn't believe it.
So it's like,
but
it comes down to the
manager.
Exactly.
Right? Is he a better manager than Ange?
Is he a better manager than Ange? Because I'm taking Cole Palmer over Maddison.
Yeah. Neto.
Yeah, and I'm taking Neto over Solomon and Kulusevski. Kulusevski.
But then the Tottenham back four, you probably take all of them other than Gusto probably gets it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But that's the thing is, as much as I agree that Tottenham have a better back four, now it's about a manager creating a unit. Create a unit.
A defensive structure.
Create a unit. Create a defensive structure where they're greater than the sums of their parts type of thing.
100%.
And with the potential platform you have in midfield and up top, because Nkunku could be a goal scorer. Or could be somebody that you could rely on for 10, 12. Cole Palmer, weirdly enough, I genuinely think could end up being top assister. I don't think he'll get top scorer again.
Quite quickly on this, one of Armand's one was that Palmer would score less than 15 goals this season.
I think he could score less than 15 goals, but
league goals.
Honestly, I think he could score less than 15 goals, but I think he could have 10, 12 assists. I think he could honestly be
in like a Maresca system. Things change it.
It's all going to rely on him finding that final ball, having the quality to find the final
Cole
ball,
Palmer's,
and he could do it.
Yeah, Cole Palmer's play style is very. I made the comparison before with Bruno Fernandes. Is very output heavy.
Yeah.
So I can see him getting goals and assists again. Like I could see him having 15 and 10.
Yeah, and look, they've just signed Neto, but Noni's done all right.
Yeah,
you know, they're gonna get. I think they're gonna get a striker.
Omorodion
or Osimhen.
Yeah,
or Gyökeres or someone. So it's like the squad itself is there to be utilized.
Yeah,
it's just whether or not Enzo's gonna do it. Whereas last season I was a bit so-so on the squad, and I thought the manager was I just didn't see how it was gonna work. I don't think it's gonna take Enzo Maresca 7 months like it took Pochettino, but
That's a bold claim.
That's a bold
That's
claim.
a bold claim.
But I'm also assuming that Chelsea help out Enzo Maresca and clear
Because Pochettino
a quarter of the
learned
deadwood.
quickly
But this is terrible.
the problems at Chelsea.
But you know what? I think Pochettino was stubborn, and Maresca could be stubborn. But Pochettino was stubborn in a bad, like Pochettino.
He questioning the board. Enzo Maresca is likely to be the puppet that they want, right? Like, go along with it. These are the players.
But I think by January, Chelsea had played 2 different centre back partnerships for every game of the season.
Yeah.
So I think Maresca will be like, all right, I'm going to try you guys for 3 weeks.
I do think you're spot on. I think ultimately Chelsea season, and I guess some people could say you could say this about every team, but it's a bit different. But Chelsea season rests on Enzo Maresca. It's all on Enzo Maresca. Whether they finish 10th, like Stedman's predicted, or they finish in the top 4, like you said, they could do, completely on Enzo Maresca.
100%.
The rest of the team, as much as your manager is good, there's a certain level, like Marco Silva. Anyone that listens to this pod knows we both rate Marco Silva, but the quality of his squad will only ever allow him to finish 8th
so far. Yeah,
maybe 7th, maybe sneak into
unbelievable.
A conference. Exactly.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the quality of his squad won't ever really allow him to break that top 6 or whatever. For Enzo Maresca, he's got the quality of the squad there, but it's just about how good is he, like you say, building a defensive structure.
Yeah.
And I think defensively, they could be all right. They might not lead goals, but I think attacking-wise, it is going to look very dry and very tough to watch and very move the ball. Right.
That's why so much onus is going to be placed on Cole Palmer. And it's going to be down. It's going to be like hero ball almost. Can you create? Can you open?
Pedro Neto will help with that. Yeah, I think, but I don't know, man. From Maresca's CV ain't great.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I know he won the league at Leicester, but apparently before that at Parma, he got ran out of the club. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. There will be a lot of Chelsea talk.
That first game against Man City is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Chelsea talk. And to be fair, to undo everything I've just said, there is a huge fear that Maresca might never find a defensive structure.
But I said to you off air, I don't rate any of Chelsea's centre backs.
Yeah.
It's all 6 of them.
But like, there could be a huge fear that he can like persists with the high line, the front foot, the press, the whatever.
Yeah.
And if Fofana doesn't get it, disaster. Disaster doesn't get it. Tossing decent defender, but I've seen him got
at. He's been terrible in preseason. Honestly,
like, there's a chance that all of this could persist throughout the season, and he never quite figures it out.
But one, I didn't actually have this written down as a prediction, but we spoke about it a bit earlier off air. Someone who, if he stays fit, I think will have a very good season is Lavia.
Lavia, agreed.
Lavia looks like, even from at Southampton, baller. And when Chelsea went and bought him, obviously he was out pretty much all of last season. But from what I've seen of him, even in pre-season, he's still got the minerals. He's the only player in Chelsea's midfield that can hold and play the players at number 6.
It must be said as well, though, that the prospect, and I know they probably won't stay fit, but the prospect of Reece James and Neto on the same wing can win a lot of football matches. Like,
like I said the other day, that's Ben White and Saka light.
Yeah. But imagine that now. Obviously, I agree with you. And Cole Palmer could be Odegaard light. Like, imagine that if you've got Reece James on the overlap with Neto who's cutting in, and it's Cole Palmer on the inside ball with the whole field open to him on his left foot.
Yeah.
Could be trouble.
It'd be nuts. It would be nuts.
But it could also never happen.
I mean, but the picture I saw of Reece James and Neto linking up was on the hospital.
Yeah. So, could also never happen.
And again, from what Maresca's system in pre-season has been Reece James as a centre-back.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, that's something Maresca's going to have to look at. And is he going to change that?
He can't do that.
I don't know, but because when Cucurella comes back, I don't know, does Cucurella go in? He wants to play the 3-2 build-up and whatever. But Chelsea's an interesting one. It's a very, very interesting.
I have one about Crystal Palace, and I said this at the end of last season.
Yeah, go for it.
I think everybody's got stocks in Crystal Palace. I kind of have stocks in Crystal Palace, but I think Crystal Palace end up being Crystal Palace. Like,
Yeah.
I could
I can see
easily
that,
see Crystal
100%.
Palace having 3 wins in the first 10 games
Yeah.
with about 4 draws and 3 losses.
Yeah.
And like,
They'll
you know,
finish 10th.
yeah,
Yeah.
question
11th,
marks over
yeah.
whether Glasner can do it. The Patrick Vieira treatment,
Yeah.
you know,
100%.
where it's like they could even be playing good stuff, and maybe you think if you give him time and a couple of resources, they could then push on to become a top 10 team, but they'll probably still end up finishing 12th, 13th.
I 100% can see that. Like, I think the form and the results that Glasner got from when he came into the end of the season,
It can't sustain.
it's not
It
sustainable.
can't sustain.
It's not sustainable.
They can't sustain. They've just lost
For
Elise.
Palace.
And I know, look, I like Kamado. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a decent player. Eze, it's yet to be seen whether he'll stay or go.
On Eze, Stedman's one was that he thinks Eze will stay one more season.
I can potentially, the longer it goes on, the closer it gets to the deadline. It's crazy for Crystal Palace to sell Elise and Eze and then only have 2 weeks to replace.
Mateta still wants his move.
Yeah, I know Mateta will be pushing for it.
Newcastle maybe come back for Gay.
So, but even if they keep these players, I still think that the curse, not even a curse, just like Crystal Palace being Crystal Palace.
Yeah. One thing they will do is they will play a nice
a better, yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And I wonder what's going to go on with Zaha. First he's going and he's not going.
Yeah, then he's going to Leicester.
Oh, is it Leicester they're saying now?
Yeah. Apparently that was the new one that came yesterday. But look, obviously, we do need to talk about a team that we don't want to talk about. And Bat did provide us with some predictions. And I don't know how much airtime we can give to these, but I think it's only right that we at least treat it with some respect, no matter how outrageous it is.
Yeah, go on.
So, firstly, from Bat, Tottenham will finish second above Arsenal.
So Tottenham just jump for the title.
Got back the boys, he said.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously just.
And I think at the very minimum, we should at least discuss whether could they happen? Is there any way whatsoever?
Solanke would have to get 30.
Well, the next one from Bat, Solanke top goal scorer.
Solanke would have to get 30, and I don't know if that's good enough for Tottenham to finish second, even if Solanke gets 30. We've seen Harry Kane get 30 and Tottenham finish 4th, 5th,
8th. Under Conte.
So you know, Tottenham having a 30 goal a season striker doesn't actually do too much for them.
My thing about Tottenham, is that, and I'm really trying to come at this from an unbiased point of view, but okay, they've signed Archie Gray and Solanke, Those are the 2 signings they've made.
They've got rid of Emerson Royale. Fair play.
Yeah. But those 2 signings, I've already spoken about Archie Gray a bit. Solanke, I think, is a good signing. Probably overpaid, but good signing.
Yeah.
Those 2 signings for me don't make me think that Tottenham will even jump to top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
Like I said, Archie Gray, I don't even think, as an 18-year-old first season in the Prem, I don't think you should be hanging your hat on him for anything.
Yeah.
For any sort of level of performance or whatever. He's going to need to adapt. He's going to need to learn.
Yeah.
And yes, Solanke will come in. You would hope Solanke adds a minimum 15 goals, right? Which could be good, could be a difference.
Is Werner still there?
Yep. If they signed Werner. Yeah, they signed him permanently. That was one of their first deals.
Oh, no.
You spoke about their winger situation when we were talking about players they should sign.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. I think Ange's high line
Still
and the defense. I think even sometimes I don't think people realize the gap between their clubs and
the top. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I'm not even trying to do that as like a
little bro.
I'm really not. But like the level that Arsenal have to operate at every week to be within touching distance of Man City and ultimately still not win the league is crazy. The margins,
27 wins.
To do, what was it? 4 losses, 5 losses,
27 wins.
Like
that's what it would take for Tottenham to get second.
1 loss in 2024.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people realize the gap that is there and the gap that you're going to have to close. But if Tottenham got top 4, successful season.
Great season for them.
Successful season.
My prediction for Tottenham is, and it went against my FPL team, but I think we get Vodka Vic in full swing this season.
Yeah.
Last season he had some moments, but he also had some moments where he was good. Where he
The
was
set
quality.
pieces towards the end of the season.
Yeah, that was good. Those are good times.
Yeah.
But I think this season, Tottenham, like defensively in terms of the back four, could actually be somewhat, solid. Like Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Porro. But I think there could be some Vodka Vic moments. I think there could be the ghost of Hugo Hennessy could still be in and around that goal.
And the depth as well.
Yeah, it's an issue if anybody gets injured.
Van der Ven, Dragusin,
So if
really
anybody gets in. And I also think that this is Romero's last season at Tottenham.
And then he's
going somewhere.
Okay.
It'll either be Italy, it could be, there's the Madrid shouts, whatever.
He does seem to love Tottenham.
Yeah, but I think it's going to come to a point now where Romero's like, every summer I go and I win a huge trophy for Argentina. And then I come back to my club and
it's nothing.
It's meh. It's crickets. Yeah. And every year I go with Argentina and Alvarez says, come to Atletico. And all these guys say, come to Spain. And all these guys tell me, come to Italy. And the agents, it's all going to be done. And
as we speak, Tottenham are playing Bayern Munich. It is halftime and they are currently 3-1 down. Kulu did score though. But yeah, I think midfield depth as well.
Yeah, it's an issue,
right? Bissouma seems to be probably their only six.
But by the end of last season, Tottenham fans were like, "I'm happy to sell Bissouma this summer."
Yep, because he was dreadful. I didn't even really blame them because he was awful, right? But Bissouma gets injured or Bissouma doesn't play well.
Yeah,
the backups are actually great.
Bentancur has never played a full season.
Never.
He's never played a full season.
And I also don't think Bentancur's a six.
Yeah, he's not.
Right?
He's not.
So
six.
then you've maybe got Bentancur and Sarr as your 8 options. Madders and Kulu as your 10 options. That, for me, personally, not even close to reaching the levels of Arsenal, Man City.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And
I'm really saying that. Like, the levels are high. Like, Chelsea's midfield, we were talking about it. We literally said there's nothing between it, But if you go Lavia, Caicedo, Cole Palmer, or Lavia, Dewsbury Hall. I rate Dewsbury Hall. Lavia, Dewsbury Hall, Cole Palmer. I think that's better than any Tottenham combination.
And I would agree with that, man. As I said, Chelsea boys, we clown on them, but if a manager was to get something out of those boys, they'd be serious.
Yeah, the main thing for, arguably both of them, but particularly Chelsea, is keep those players fit.
Yeah.
Can you keep those players fit? And if you can, especially Pedro Neto now. Pedro Neto and Sterling, do I take that over Brennan Johnson and Solomon or Kulu?
Who do you switch up to? Who do you predict out of the newly promoted teams to take 3 points off the top 2? Because do you remember 2 seasons ago when Southampton were here? We never beat Southampton.
Yeah. We're going to slap them this year, though.
Last season, who was the bottom 3? Burnley.
I remember we did a pod last season after Luton,
Sheffield,
drew Liverpool.
Yeah.
And remember they were 1-0 up and Luis Diaz scored in the last minute.
Yeah.
And we came on here after the pod and I was like, I feel like that's a bad one for Liverpool. Because if you drop points to any promoted team, and I was like, it could happen to Arsenal, but if you drop points to any promoted team in a title race, I think that's a big problem.
It's a problem.
And I think both Arsenal and City took maximum points off the bottom 3 teams. So
Luton made us work for it, though.
Yeah, 100%. And that could happen. That could happen. But I don't know if I can see the top 2 losing any points to those 3.
I think it will happen.
I just think the top 2 teams and the way they play, I just don't know how. I can't see it.
Maybe, yeah.
Who's dunking on Gabriel and Saliba? Who's dunking on Akanji and Ake?
Yeah.
Wide areas, who's getting close to Rodri? Who's getting close to Rice?
But I can see Leicester. It might not be 3 points, but a top 2 team might only take 4 points off them. There might be a win and a draw. And it all depends on the time in which you play them.
Yeah, but I still think that's a bit.
You think it's a stretch?
Like, I think those, like, I've said this, I'll say this on the podcast. I think Leicester will beat Tottenham on that first Monday night. Right? I'm going to bet on it. Right? But so it's not even necessarily that I think they're bad teams, but again, it almost comes back to my point before. The level of those top 2 teams. Like we're not going to go to Southampton like when we used to go to Southampton. We're going to go there and it's going to be 80% possession.
Yeah. And this is a sidebar, but this is the good thing about the Pep Arteta mode manager.
Well, and the bad thing.
Yeah, it's true.
from both sides, right?
But the good thing is like, and obviously Arteta he was only like 2 years into the job, but when we were losing, dropping points to Southampton, it was just such a mentality thing. It wasn't even a like quality thing.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
especially the home fixture when we just gave them 2 goals.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that mentality. Oh boy, eradicated. That
Theo.
you do any of that now,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
gone.
it's done.
You're gone.
And they've learned that will cost you the title.
Ramsdale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is he?
Zinchenko.
Where is he?
Yep. Both of them. Both of them. And yeah, also any of those bottom three teams trying to keep out Haaland.
Yeah, they don't have it. What fast
Day,
versus Holland?
long day. Come on. Don't come with fast. Don't come with fast. I'm looking through these. Stedman had West Ham to get Europa League.
West Ham have a good team.
Probably won the transfer window so far.
Yeah, West Ham have a good team.
They'll probably have a couple when we do our top 10 signings, which we will do. West Ham will probably have a couple guys in there.
Where do you predict Villa to finish? Do you think they stay in the top four?
I think Villa will have a good season.
They will.
On this one, I agree. I think West Ham will get Europa League. I think they'll do a good job. But on Villa, I think Villa again, another team similar to West Ham, have had a good window. And I think Villa. I wouldn't put it past them to get top four.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Villa to get top three. You know.
But
I think it would mean crashing out of all of Europe early.
Which I don't think that Unai is the specialist.
Yeah, it's true. But when
and the only reason I'm saying they're top four, genuinely, obviously Ollie Watkins. I expect Ollie Watkins to come and bag 17, 18.
Yeah.
Again, minimum. But
Onana. I was Onana's big.
Massive part. But I can't. We spoke about it off air. I cannot tell you what I would be saying about Liverpool in this episode.
They had signed Onana.
If they had signed Onana.
But I think it's not just Onana. I agree with you that that's a big signing, but I think they have the depth that a lot of
the midfield depth.
Yeah,
we were literally talking about it last week. McGinn, Camara, Onana, Ramsey.
Even this guy Rodgers, who came in for a couple of weeks last season,
did
all right.
Balling in pre-season.
Did all right.
Yeah.
You know, and now you've got Matson, you've got Digne, you've got Cash, you've got Konza who's playing right back. You've still got the Diego Carlos who's there for now. Pau Torres who's there. You've got Tielemans.
You know, one. It's looking good. I think they could. I think they could get top four. And the only reason they might not is
but I agree with
Champions League. And it is kind of like it's an interesting one of like, is it a flash in the pan?
Or is it serious? Yeah.
And then the Newcastle drops
Fell
out.
Off. Yeah.
Because I do think that's like, if I'm picking between Aston Villa and Newcastle, I still might edge it Newcastle.
Yeah.
And that's a close one. That'll be a good game when those two teams play each other. Two good coaches, two very good coaches, two very good teams, good midfield.
That's where the once a week thing could benefit Newcastle.
Yeah. 100%.
But I agree. I think Villa is weird because I agree that they can't do both. I know Emery can't do a deep Premier League campaign and a deep Europe campaign.
Champions League.
He always chooses one or the other type of thing. But I do think whatever one he chooses, he has the ability to go, especially if Watkins, you're right, is still Watkins. And I think Ian Matson will bring a certain dynamism to the team. And obviously Andre Onana is going to keep it rigid. He's going to keep it solid. He lets them do so. And he's going to protect the hell out of Pau Torres and Konza and all of these guys. So I like... You know, I said United could get top four, but I think Emery's a better coach than Ten Hag.
Yeah, with a better squad.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I think Villa will finish above Tottenham.
Yeah.
Talking about, and that's not just bad. There's other Tottenham fans that think they'll finish third, think they'll get close. I think having Emery's better manager than Ange firstly, and they've got a better squad.
And I honestly think Newcastle will finish fifth.
Yeah.
So it leaves the like Onslaughts, the Enzos,
Ten
Hags, and gunfight.
Yeah,
literally fighting for a knife. What's that expression? Fighting for a knife in a mud.
Come prepared.
Yeah.
Don't lose to Leicester on the first game.
Yeah, don't throw away those points.
Yeah. Straight away.
Don't be telling yourself, "Oh, season, you know, we'll get back. We're gonna get into the thing." Yeah.
And then lastly, unless you got any more, but lastly, one from Stedman. Mikel Antonio will score 30 league goals.
You know my thoughts on Antonio. And I actually, I actually quite like Ish Antonio, but he just has a ceiling. His
You don't think he
ceiling,
get 30.
no. His ceiling will forever be 15, 16 max. And he's never,
He's not hitting that again.
bro, he hit that he hit that by like November,
Yeah.
December.
I remember.
And he couldn't crack, he could have cracked 20.
Stedman was flying.
He could have cracked 20. And unfortunately for Antonio, he still has a lot of value to add.
Lopetegui's not gonna rate him. Lopetegui's not gonna rate him.
English managers love
Yeah,
Antonio
yeah,
for the right reason. But he's almost the antithesis of what
Of a Spanish manager. Come on.
You know when they're doing the ball over the top and he's asking Antonio to like chest it down, bring somebody else into play, spin.
Yeah. Lopetegui's gonna be trying to play through the thirds. Striker that. But on that same note, Nicholas Fulkrug.
I think he'll do well.
Yeah. Thoughts on him? Goals, prediction tally, maybe, or even just what you think he'll offer West Ham.
I think he'll offer West Ham a lot because Bowen and Kudus have the legs to beat guys.
Yeah.
So
I think Bowen's gonna have a monster year.
Bowen had a monster year last year.
Yeah, I think he'll have another one.
I think Bowen and Kudus have the legs to beat guys. Yeah, in terms of like I can just skim my man on the outside. I can pick up the ball from halfway and find a pass.
Somerville has that as well.
Somerville has that.
Yeah.
So I think for Fulkrug, bro, he just literally has to do his job as a 9, be in the box and be active.
Yeah.
Like consistently make the runs, consistently use the double movement, and there'll be like bare minimum 5 tap-ins.
Yeah.
5-yard tap-ins. Yeah. And that's not even excluding the set pieces that Ward-Prowse is going to put directly on his head. Yeah. That's
I might like I don't want Lopetegui to do well. Right, because of the whole Wolves thing, right, and the fact that Gary O'Neill went there, and got the job done. But I do think Lopetegui's a good manager and also good enough to create a system that is catered to Fulkrug. We were saying last week. You said if Fulham signed Callum Wilson, best believe Marco Silva would have that team just creating chances for Wilson. Do everything to create a chance for Callum Wilson. I think Lopetegui's a good enough, smart enough manager with like Bowen, Somerville. Guys. Put balls in the box and Fulkrug will bag.
But that's the thing. I think he doesn't even need to do too much. He just needs to tell Fulkrug, bro, every day I want you to work on crosses, like balls coming in from crosses, and you'll like touch your, sharp shooting, touch turn, shoot type of thing, because that will be the game.
Yep.
That will be where the goals will come from. That will be how West Ham. Those will be the goals that Fulkrug will score. Bowen and Kudus will dribble 3-4 guys, whack it top bins, type of thing. Yep. Well, Prowse will do the set pieces. They've still got Somerville. They've still got Paqueta. He's not even banned yet.
Yep, Alvarez. So Paqueta, this Europa League thing, completely dependent on whether
Paqueta.
If Paqueta's banned and he can't play, West Ham might not finish top half.
Yeah.
Right, but if Paqueta can play, that's how instrumental he is. I also think Wan-Bissaka's a very good signing.
It's a good signing, a very good signing for them. 100%.
It almost looks like West Ham could have 5 or 6 players they've signed from this window in their starting 11. When you look at Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Todibo, Somerville, Fulkrug. I think West Ham will have a good season. And they need to with the money.
Who I'm worried about is Brighton. Not worried about they're going to go down, but worried about their top 10 position. Worried.
Amon had Brighton bottom 5. That was one of his predictions. Yeah,
I think they could be a 16th.
I don't
15th,
know
12th,
anything about this Fabian Hersler guy.
Neither do I.
I don't even
too
know
young. He's like 31.
Yeah, I don't even know who he was managing before. But how can you be younger than your captain? How can your manager be younger than Lewis Dunk? Come on. But to be fair, Brighton missed a lot of players last
season. They did.
Solly March,
Mitoma, Ansu Fati was out. All of this kind of stuff.
João Pedro had his injury problems.
Yeah. Even Ferguson was in and out.
Yeah. So they built a good squad from before. I think Estupiñán might be out still, but
he is.
It'll be interesting. I think bottom 5 is an interesting prediction because it could happen. Things don't go right for this Hersler guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets
sacked. It could spiral quickly.
Yeah.
It could spiral.
And it could be one of those shock ones of like, all of a sudden we're in February.
Yeah.
And we're 2 points off the bottom.
Yeah. It could spiral very quickly. I had the Baleba, my top 10 transfers
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Like these guys have to turn it around. Those are the guys.
For your sake.
Yeah. Kozia Dewberry though could do the things.
Yeah. Just like Ahmad. But yeah, look, that's it from me. If you got any more?
No, I think that's it from me.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We will do MVPs and rookies.
Yeah.
MVP,
MVPs, Steph, LeBron, KD.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to the guys still killing.
Down 13 points going into the fourth quarter.
Shout out, I'm not gonna lie, shout out to Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
Jokic. They like sometimes, as much as I know you're playing for pride in the Olympics and everything like that, but they got into a zone where it's like, all right, man, I'm a killer today.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was a great game, that basketball game. Shout out honestly to a lot of the Olympians, man. I've been watching a lot of the highlights.
Noah Lyles.
Yeah. Tobago.
Talking his shit as well.
Tobago from the 200 meters.
Yeah.
You know, he beat his chest like 10, 20 yards out.
Yeah.
Still finished first.
Spain.
Won the gold medal. All the way. Spain's football in general. Spain's philosophy.
It's just, I don't know how they're taking like a third, fourth choice Olympic team and it's just triangles, rotation, sticky tacker. It's just, I guess they teach that from when they're 6.
Yeah. It's been an interesting summer for sports, man. But I've been very appreciative. So shout out to all the Olympians, man, who did that thing, gold medalists, silver medalists, who just made it interesting. My other MVPs, who else has been about and doing things? Jesus, coming back different, coming back hungry.
Yeah, that could be you. That can be you. I'm not convinced. Like, I need to see some Premier League goals.
You see some Premier League goals. No, I'll give him an MVP for coming back.
Miles Lewis Skelly, though.
Yeah. Baller.
I said on the last episode, if you know anything about this guy, you know Arteta's going to play him left back. But he looks comfortable in possession.
Zinchenko?
Yeah, I'll give Zinchenko one. I'll give Zinchenko.
Silence in the...
Lost it. I need more of those.
Silence in the haters. Yeah. Rookies, though, Joel Embiid, man. I don't even know if these things are true.
This is 3 episodes in a row.
I hate Joel.
It's gonna get bullied. I'm gonna have to call you a bully.
But Joel, and I saw the comments, but I didn't see the interview, so I don't know if it's true. But I saw him saying that potentially for LA 28 or whatever, he could be playing for Cameroon. Bro, if you don't get out, guy said, yeah, I could be. Who knows who I'll be playing for in 20? Yo, if you don't get out of here, man.
when Joel Embiid shamelessly posts that gold middle pick,
I hate him forever for it. It's that simple.
I'm actually gonna give a rookie. Should I give this guy a rookie or not? I'm gonna give it to Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
because
he doesn't have a feel for the game.
This Tatum job is nasty. It's nasty work. It feels targeted. It feels like someone's told Steve Kerr, Adam Silver's told Steve Kerr,
not the face of my league.
Not this guy. And
it's worse seeing Derek White get minutes.
Drew Holiday. Bro, Jason Tatum, most points, most assists.
Yeah, I was about to say.
In the finals. Yeah, he is the champ. Yeah, the franchise player. So
Jason Tatum will tell you he's coming off the best summer of his life. He's coming off the best summer of his life.
It's nasty. It's nasty work. It's targeted. I gave Jason Tatum a rookie on the last one because he didn't play any minutes and then he came in and had a stinker.
Yeah.
But at this point, I just it's targeted.
They're not even giving him a chance.
It's targeted stuff.
They're not even giving him a chance to get his foot.
Exactly. Like Halliburton's out there. Come on, man.
And I'll give a rookie to Draymond, even though I've done a full almost 360 on Draymond, 180 on Draymond.
Yeah.
But Draymond, when did you see that stuff of him
what was the
mentoring the kids? Yo, stop. And they were like,
what was the Draymond thing where he was like, I just don't understand why he's getting violent or something like that, innit? And we were just like, Draymond, like, check your mirrors. Come on.
But Draymond, he's just being Draymond, man. He's telling kids, stop baiting the three and trying to get the foul, which is what Draymond does.
Yeah.
He's telling guys, don't listen to Steve Kerr. he's tweeting out, don't listen to
Run
Steve
your own
Kerr.
play.
Exactly. And now he's telling, I've got to go to France. His agenda versus Rudy Gobert is nasty. That's nasty. Like he turns up every time to see Rudy Gobert's downfall, gets on the mic, says I'm a 4-time champ. This guy sucks. Like every time. And as much as I respect it, Draymond, have a summer off.
Yeah.
Have a summer off, rebuild.
You're not even there.
You've just lost Clay. You should really be in the gym. You should really be in the lab if you boys want to put together a good season because everybody else is getting stronger. Steph is having the summer of his life.
36 points.
So I'm going to give you a rookie for that. And I know you love LeBron as well, so it's killing you a little bit to not be balling there. Everybody's having the photos. I know the private stories are going on.
Some of the photos are hard. Some of the photos are slick. And I've got one more rookie, the biggest rookie, Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I will never look at you the same. Never.
Rings in doubt, huh?
Because I used to think Jamal Murray was one of the best point guards in the league. Yeah. And even after the season that Shea had, I still had Jamal Murray above him. Right? But the way Jamal Murray played for Canada in that game against France was awful. It looked someone called him Tim Hortonway Jr. Right, which I thought was a perfect slander name. Him being Canadian, perfect. Right, it was like Murray without Jokic, Tim Hortonway Jr. He was awful. So Jamal Murray get a rookie from
even SGA was clowning
and
him.
SGA can get an MVP.
Yeah, SGA can get an MVP.
Balled out. You any more?
Nah, I think that is it. Everything's been said. Not much has happened. It's just been football stuff in the last sort of week or so. So,
but thank you to everyone that contributed with your predictions this week. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that episode. Let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. We are back for a second season, and the next time you see us, the Premier League will have kicked off. The first round of fixtures will have been played. Tottenham would have just been beaten at the King Power, and we will be here back with a similar format to last year. So hopefully you guys are going to be here with us for the ride. And man, hopefully there's a title to win.
Defo.
Hopefully there's a title to win. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Peace.